Howdy folks, it's getting to be fall, and so I wanted to remind everybody about Amaro Lattes, which hopefully are the new trend in hot after dinner Amaro drinks. I got an improvement to the recipe I want to tell you about. Let's go. Okay, Amaro Lattes, if you're not familiar with this concept yet, go back and watch the original video. That will explain everything. I'm going to go over it again here, but go back for the context. Okay, so I'm trying to get these Amaro Lattes on the menu at work. There have been a couple of delays, but I'll let you know when they make it on there. Now, as we're working on the specific recipe that we were going to use at the bar, we came up with an improvement to the recipe, which I want to show you. Now, the great thing about this is it's really a template to create new flavor combinations and do whatever you want at your house to make your own Amaro Latte. And it goes like this: 1.5 ounces of whole milk. Ultra pasteurized milk also works really well. It's 1 ounce of the Amaro of your choice, 1/2 ounce of a complementary liqueur, like a sweeter liqueur, but something that goes with the Amaro that you've chosen. The magic ingredient is a Barspoon of honey syrup. Now, honey syrup is the key ingredient to this, but let me back up a little bit and explain. I started out making these just equal parts, 1.5 ounces of milk, 1.5 ounces of Amaro, and that actually is also delicious. But the hot Amaro does get just a little bit extra bitter, a little bit sharp. And for the bar context, we wanted to make it more like a cocktail, soften out some of that very, very bitter flavor, because that's not necessarily for everyone. So we're making a softer, gentler version that will appeal to more people, be more like a cocktail, and is also delicious. Now this starts with decreasing the Amaro from 1.5 ounces to 1 ounce, adding a sweet liqueur, and obviously you're going to want to pick something that complements the Amaro you're using. And then, as I mentioned, the key, a Barspoon of honey syrup. Now here's the thing, the hot Amaro does get extra bitter, but that bitterness happens at the end of the palate. So it's got this extra bitter aftertaste. The thing about honey syrup is that it sweetens, but it sweetens the back of the palate as well. So if we put honey syrup in, we're going to combat that extra bitter aftertaste with a sweeter aftertaste. We were doing some experiments at work, and we tried it with demerara and cane syrup, and those have a much more front of the palate sweetness, so they weren't cutting back that bitter aftertaste as much. Genius. Anyway, these sets of adjustments make for a very enjoyable drink, so let's make a couple. So first up, Cynar and cocoa liqueur. It'll be 1 ounce of Cynar, 1/2 ounce of Tempest Fugid cocoa liqueur, delicious, and that Barspoon of honey. Let's mix that up. All right, we did it. First up, Cynar and cocoa liqueur. Let's give it a try. On the nose, very chocolatey. Really does remind you of dessert. Gotta love that. It's like a hot chocolate, but more interesting. It's creamy. The bitterness from the Cynar is really toned down, and you get just like a hint of honey at the end. Delicious. So warm and cozy. I love it. The second one I want to make for you is Averna and coffee liqueur. I think any coffee liqueur will work as long as the proof isn't too high. As you might recall, you don't want to put too much alcohol in this because the alcohol will impede the foaming of the milk. So I've found that anything under 35% or so should work pretty well. So let's do that. Averna and coffee. foam on these is spectacular and fluffy and so fun. As I mentioned before, it's great to serve these with a little spoon or something, so people can spoon up their foam without sticking their finger in the glass. Coffee in Averna is spectacular. It's much less hot bitter experience than the equal parts method, but the foam is so nice. And yeah, again, that little bit of honey sweetness at the end, amazing. I'm having another. It's like a delicious hot coffee ice cream. Amazing. So besides those two, we're also talking about at work doing Campari and strawberry liqueur. That one is delicious. I don't happen to have the strawberry liqueur here, so I couldn't make it for you. But one thing I have been doing, which you may or may not know about, is using strawberry milk instead. I've just been putting strawberry quick into the milk before I make it. Amazing. It also sweetens up the milk a little bit, so that's also delicious. All right, I guess that's all I've got for you this time. If you make this Amaro Latte, especially the improved version, let me know down in the comments or over on Instagram. I'd love to hear about it. Spread the word. This is going to be the new big thing, I hope. Okay, thanks for watching. We will see you next time.